Oh, look at this. Bongholio. Bongholio is having a... Hal drinks ice water from a large glass jar and chews the ice like a real man. Thanks, Deb. Bongholio is having a rough one. This is called, and I can't wait to see it. Because we just got, I mean, I'm on the hunt for the dumbest take. I've seen the most angry and depressed and all that kind of shit and the kind of laziest. We got that all on the 5 at once. And the most confusing, which was Glenn Beck's. But Bongholio's scorching response to calls for the GOP to dump Trump. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Subfiltered has taken this moment not to, I guess, have a come to Jesse moment about the polls being wrong or any of that stuff. No, it's just that people got to understand this is not Trump's fault, okay? He did this, okay? This is Trump, okay? And you can't be mean to Trumpists, okay? This is Trump, okay.
Media is now just...
I just realized when I do that, I sound like Kurt Metzger on Door Show. Huh? I don't know why. Okay, what is that? That's what he sounds like. That's amazing. He sounds like a crying Britney fan on TikTok. For real. He's really loud. Okay, I will cut him down. Boink. Thank you. Okay, here we go.
wetting their diapers, salivating, foaming at the mouth.
That's a lot. That's a lot all at once. Who is?
The media is now just...
Oh, it's the media, okay.
Wetting their diapers, salivating, foaming at the...
Well, that's what a diaper is for. I mean, why wear it if you're not going to take every advantage?
Mouth for a DeSantis-Trump feud. Listen, there's no doubt DeSantis had a good night.
Yeah, so?
There's also no doubt that some of the Trump-backed candidates didn't have the night we would have liked. It's not over.
Yeah, it's not over.
Yet. Everybody...
No, it isn't. It's never over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Shouldn't panic, but some did. J.D. Vance did pretty well last night. That was a Trump candidate.
Yeah, the guy who literally said Trump could be our Hitler if we're not careful.
It wasn't a total loss.
No, that's what you were shooting for. Nothing says red wave where, like, it wasn't a total loss.
But some of the Trump-backed candidates didn't have a great night. That's okay.
Yeah, 6-1, half dozen of another.
The guy's endorsement record's still better than anyone else in human history.
No, he just picks people that other people say are going to win in a lot of like uncontested or poorly contested or locked districts. And then any of the ones that actually have to perform can shit the bed and he can go, I only lost 6. Well, 6 only mattered, fucko.
You'll see with this Daily Mail article, time for Republicans to dump Trump. GOP says Trump.
Yeah, the Daily Mail is calling that. That's who's saying it.
Was a drag on the party and slams the quality of his candidates as gold.
By the way, GOP figures say, I almost say GOP-figures, which kind of works. GOP figures say former president was a drag on the party. Yeah, notice he's making it like the Daily Mail is saying this.
Golden boy Ron DeSantis storms to victory. Folks, believe me when I tell you, too, it's not just left-wing media.
Yeah, it's not left-wing media at all. Daily Mail is citing GOP figures. You third-grade fuck.
There are a number of people out there, even on our side, who want...
What? Even on your side? You mean like GOP figures?
Nothing more than a DeSantis-Trump feud. Let me just say this. Before you write off Donald Trump, people...
Too late.
...have written him off before. No.
Yes, and I was right. He's a complete fuck-up. He lost exactly as I said he would.
Number one. Number two, there's only...
Is how I would describe everything he's done since leaving office and a lot of what he did while he was there.
One candidate in modern presidential history to ever win Pennsylvania.
Oh, that does it. What?
That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump won in a near presidential landslide in Florida, which was his over 1 point and then close to, 3-4 point victory in Florida was a landslide by presidential standards.
Yeah, because DeSantis set him up by redistricting and pushing the entire state red, by making it a red island.
And it was Trump who took Florida and Ohio basically off the national map for the.
Right. They were all they've been drifting away from being swing states for a long fucking time. And it was the fact that there were new swing states, because that's what happens. It's like Iowa. Everybody knows what the game is in Iowa. So there are literally political operatives who moved to Iowa the year before. Like, rental properties in Iowa go through the fucking roof in the lead up to a presidential election the year before. And a lot of people just move there and fucking live there. And they're just perennial politicers because they know the caucuses are going to start there. They know which, people they're going to work with, and they can get hired because they're on the ground there already. Like, you've got a built-in Iowa political class because of that very thing. So quite frankly, Iowa has lost some of its sting over the years because it's so fucking obvious. The same thing was true of Ohio and Florida. For years, for decades, they were the lock swing states because of the nature of the actual politics there. And what Democrats and Republicans both tried to do over time was swing those states their way and get control of them so that they could say, well, we want Ohio and Florida, those are swing states, and therefore that sets us up to win the rest. When ultimately, neither one of those states became a swing state. The more they got a lock on them, the less swing they became. That doesn't mean there aren't swing states. It just means it opened up other swing states, namely Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia suddenly became, game states, Arizona, even New Mexico. By sending all your resources to Ohio and Florida, you have to take resources from someplace else, and that puts them in play because even with the billions spent on elections, there's not enough to go around, and there's not enough attention to go where the electorate moves most of the time. You can make a plan right after an election, but shit changes between now and then. So they locked up Florida with Jeb Bush around Bush won. After Bush v. Gore, people went, fuck Florida, let it go red. We'll work on something else.
The Democrats had made them red. It's also Trump who got a historic number of black votes. So
historic amongst Republicans, which is like world's loudest whisper.
All I'm saying is nobody loves Ron DeSantis more than this show. We have our own segment dedicated to him.
That's weird. That even creeps me out.
Let's be careful about the DeSantis Trump stuff already.
How about let's not? I don't know who the fuck you're talking to, but let's see. Truth Social Trump. Let's see. And we'll put this down here, and we'll go to this, and we'll pull up this guy. You might be familiar with him. I don't know if you do a whole segment devoted to this fuckhead, but apparently you're trying to, scorch us and everyone in the media and whomever for daring to go after, to dump Trump. Meanwhile, he didn't have my support, but Ron DeSanctimonious and Rhinos were all in. He could have won, but had a death wish. Very little press coverage of his loss. This is Joe O'Dea. This is where Trump fucked up and cheered the loss of the guy that he backed. Now that the election is over and everything went quite well, shouldn't it be said that 2020 I got 1.1 million more votes in Florida than Ron D got this year, 5.7 to 4.6? Just asking. Now that the midterms are over and a success, like he's doubled down on this stupid shit. News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post, is all in for Governor Ron DeSanctimonious, an average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state, but did, unlike Republican governors whose overall numbers for a Republican were just average. Middle of the pack, including COVID, and who has the advantage of sunshine, where people from badly run states up north would go no matter who the governor was, just like I did. So that's why Trump moved there, not because he was sort of promised a protection racket from D.C. and New York authorities, but because he needed the sun. Ron came to me in desperate shape in 2017. He was politically dead. losing in a landslide to a very good agriculture commissioner, Adam Putnam, who was loaded up with cash and great poll numbers. Ron had low approval, bad polls, no money, but he said that if I would endorse him, he could win. I didn't know Adam, so I said, let's give it a shot, Ron. You wouldn't find out about the other guy? Maybe he's better, actually? Let's give it a shot, Ron. When I endorsed him, it was as though, to use a bad term, a nuclear weapon went off. Years later, they were the exact words that Adam Putnam used in describing Ron's endorsement. He said, I went from having it made with no competition to immediately getting absolutely clobbered after your endorsement. I then got Ron by the star of the Democratic Party, Andrew Gilliam, who was later revealed to be a crackhead. By having 2 massive rallies with tens of thousands of people at each one, I also fixed his campaign. Look at this shit. He's just going on and fucking on. I stopped his election from being so, and now Ron DeSanctimonious is playing games. I will not be ignored. The fake news asks him if he's going to run, if president runs, and he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking in the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. The answer is no. This is just like 2015 and 2016, a media assault collusion when Fox News fought me to the end until I won, and then they couldn't have been nicer or more supportive. The Wall Street Journal loved low-energy Jeb Bush and a succession of other people as they rapidly disappeared from sight, finally falling in line with me after I easily knocked them out one by one. We're in exactly the same position now. No, you're not, because then you were an unknown entity and people were buying your bullshit, and now everybody knows you're a broke, colluding fuck. And did Mexico ultimately pay for the wall? Did we get out of Afghanistan? Did you pass a healthcare plan? Was there an infrastructure bill? Did the wall get fucking built? Did the wall make the border better? Jesus Christ. They put America first, make America. You know the sticker in Pennsylvania that says, I voted? Some people are wearing them saying, I thought I voted. Pennsylvania is a very corrupt state with voting, but nobody ever wants to check that. How does Oz, smart guy, lose to a guy who can't string together 2 sentences? They don't want to check because they don't want to make it right. It happened to me in 2020. I lost 1 million votes with possibly one of the biggest drops in history happening in the middle of the night. Like, okay. I don't know where the fuck Bongholio gets the nerve to shit talk his fellow Republicans and right-wing media for allegedly picking a fight between Trump and DeSantis when DeSantis barely waited till past midnight on election night to start just double barreling it at Ron DeSantis, calling him a piece of shit. And by the way, I'm for it. I don't care. It's not my party. I don't care. Fight all you want. I mean, like I said, there will never be enough popcorn for 2024. Ever. But the idea that somehow this prick is complaining that the media is making something up when Trump has been on that shit, that was 3 hours ago. Trump has been doing that all fucking day.
Let's get this. We got a runoff coming. We got races undecided. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, Trump is. So fall in love or fall in line, I guess.
I'm not doing it.
Yes, we get that.
Congratulations to Ron DeSantis on an outrageously good night.
Outrageous.
But let's not like throw Trump overboard and just say, I'm not doing it.
Well, how do you feel about throwing DeSantis overboard? Because Trump is doing that.
Don't let the media do their thing. They want that.
They want what? To report what he's been doing on his own social media site all fucking day? You dunce. I'm sorry. It's rude of me. Obviously, we know Dan's reading comprehension skills suck butthole. So it's no surprise that he probably read all of them and went, oh my God, they'd be great running mates.
I'm not doing it. Another huge takeaway from last night, folks.
Great. Yeah, because the first takeaway was fucking primo.
Listen, the democracy is dying argument. Nobody cares. I don't know how to tell you this, Democrat.
Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, it was a huge factor.
Some of you may sincerely believe it because you follow Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, Alan Kozinger, whatever the hell is the crier. I don't know. Maybe you believe it. And that's great you believe it. But I'm telling you that the candidates who ran on this and made democracy's dying, the insurrection, worse than Pearl Harbor, the center of their campaigns got smoked.
No, they didn't. And the turnout to protect democracy, especially from the maggots, split the ticket in a bunch of places. Normal Republicans got through, and a bunch of the Trumpies went down specifically.
Here's the Hill, a left-wing outlet. GOP takes out January 6th panel member, what's her name, Elaine Laurie in Virginia, in the 2nd District. In a district she was favored to win, in a night that wasn't that great for the GOP in the House.
Yeah, I don't care. Yes, we know. You're fucking lunatics. You just went after her just because she's trying to cover Jan 6.
Folks, her whole campaign was the January 6th thing.
Right. And you guys tore her down. I don't care. It doesn't double the vote. Votes don't get higher or deeper or wider or thicker or double in size or shrink because of who's in the fucking seat.
And she lost.
Right. Because you assholes went after your own.
Even CNN now is starting to acknowledge the fact.
CNN? That's Celine Dion's channel.
That maybe this whole democracy's dying thing really isn't resonating, and maybe it's time to move on. You think? Here, take a listen.
Numbers in these exits do not line up with what we were seeing in the polling data going into this election about what people cared about and the order in which they ranked it. So we have had a lot of questions throughout this time about new voters, people that hadn't been in there before that were perhaps not getting captured by the polling. So maybe this is a sign that we're going to see a little bit more of that tonight than we expected. We obviously don't know yet. And you know what?
Right. And it didn't turn out to be the case.
What's missing from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 5 issues? Democracy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even in here. It's not to say that it's not an issue for people, but it doesn't
Not
even
the
come
issue.
close.
Not-
They answer it by showing up. It's an umbrella issue. And it did show up in a bunch of the other
I do
issues.
think
Folks, the Dems.
Yeah. I mean, you got one CNN poll that focused on certain things. Yeah, that'll do it. I don't need any more. What is that, 2,500 people? 1,200? Oh, 600.
Just please keep running on it. You're just going to lose.
No, apparently not.
Nobody's taking you seriously. No one actually believes the Republic is at risk.
Amongst Republicans. That's why you're attacking your own. And I don't care.
From a bunch of MAGA's red hat wearing grandmas. Nobody believes it.
Right. Nobody believes it's the grandmas. It's the creepy incel fuckers.
Nobody.
Right. Nobody. Again, straw grandma.
I'm almost begging you to keep doing these January 6th committee things.
Never beg. It's unbecoming.
Remember Val Demings, too? Joe, Val Demings ran for Senate against Rubio. She made January 6th a huge thing, too. Remember that, Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she only lost by like 4,000 points that. I mean, just keep going with it. Liz Cheney's out. Kinzinger was too cowardly to run.
Again, this is them driving their own
Gloria
out.
lost.
And Florida's the big cherry. It doesn't
Demings
matter.
got crushed. Please.
Yeah, mention her twice. It's like 2 wins.
What's that? But yeah, keep it coming, man. I'd like to see 20 more January 6th hearings in between now and the 2024 cycle.
Well, yeah, you would. Trump won't like it.
Please.
I would like to as well. I would like to see a 10-hour session where Trump answers questions under oath. Wouldn't you guys? Let me know in the chat right now if you'd like to see, or leave a comment below. And if you're watching this later on, let me know if you'd like to see Trump sit for, I guess, let's at least Hillary levels, right? 11 hours. No pleading the fifth. Answer the fucking questions. Or just get comfortable with me and everybody I know calling you a coward.
Keep it going. It's doing so well for you guys.
It actually did. And that's the takeaway. We got 2 points from him. One is January 6th, not a real issue. And the idea that I guess that there is no Trump DeSantis fight because the media is making it up. Now, pretty dumb take, pretty baseline, kind of boring, quite frankly.